Speaking of our federal government, we all love the feds, right? I'm sure you all heard that Fannie and Freddie, they had a little problem the first quarter. What was that? An $8 billion problem? They couldn't kind of keep track of $8 billion. They went down. Doesn't sound like a big deal, right? Turns out to be $66 million a day. These numbers are a lot bigger. When they start putting a B behind them, you know that it's really ugly, to the tune of at least 3 zeros. So, give us some happy thoughts. All right, we're going to start the first of 13 consecutive short segments, 2-3 minutes, on liberty. The first one, I'm going to just challenge you guys a little bit to think about this. And the title of this one is, Liberty Cannot Exist in a Democracy. Can't exist. Let me say why. The key word is pure, and does not mean that liberty cannot exist in a nation where there is government, where its government is elected by a democratic process. In fact, that is probably the only way that liberty on a national level can exist, is through having a democratic element to our government, so that the government can be changed. That's really what it's all about. In a pure democracy, we all vote for what we want, right? And what we want the government to do and not do, and in a pure democracy, the rights of the minority are guaranteed to be what? They're going to be destroyed, aren't they? Because all of us are going to get what we want. The majority is going to get what they want. The minority? Too bad. But we are getting closer and closer to democracy. We really are, and I don't want to live in a democracy. A pure democracy is 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. In a republic, the sheep at least has a rifle. And we're going to talk about what's for dinner, and it's not going to be the sheep. That is as blunt as I can make it for you. The reality is that in a republic form of government, the right of the individual is seen to be as sacred as the needs of the collective. They both have equal merit and equal value. That is the only way that liberty can exist. If we all get together and we all decide that we're going to be Christians, okay? We'll all decide we're going to be Christians. I'm not even going to pretend to pick on a denomination. Let's just all say we're going to be Christians. And we're going to say there's going to be a Christian nation, period. Let's just make it official and recognize all of our Christian holidays. Tell those pagans they can't have their little pagan temples in our town or whatever it is they decide we want, as long as 50.01 of us say so. And that's the way it's going to be. Well, that's not liberty, because it means 49.9% of the people can want something that doesn't interfere with any of us. But we said that they can't have it. Doesn't that sound like liberty? So one of the things that concerns me, and had a little chat on Facebook this week, is it seems like every year we've got a few less Christians around, doesn't it? So if we're going to push a purely Christian agenda, that makes me really nervous, because as we move closer to a democracy, whatever it is that we want and we need to keep our faith pure and safe is going to be trampled by that minority of non-Christians in the very near future. So we need to be fighting the fight for liberty, individual liberty. It can't exist in a democracy. Now that's how a republic works. You cannot have liberty in that situation. Liberty does not exist in a democracy. Liberty exists in a democratically elected republic that follows the rule of law. In this land, it's called the Constitution. It protects all of us. If I'm some brand of religion and someone else is another brand, we both have equal rights under the Constitution to practice our faith without being trampled by another citizen. So I hope I haven't offended anybody here. I'm trying to be a little brash with the idea and kind of picking on, I suspect that almost everybody here is a Christian, including me. So I'm trying to get us to think from our perspective. How would we like it if we're not bugging no one else? Do we want someone else trampling on our liberty? And that's what's going to happen to us in a democracy. We don't want it, folks. We need to bring our representative republic back to accountability.